Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your unusual daily dose of skill, and you might think, Papa, skill what the flying F? Why do we don't have that gameplay? Don't rush, fellas. We are having a humongous changes coming into the game, and it's hitting sandbox server. And if you are thinking what the flying F, a sandbox server is pretty much testing ground for wargaming, and every single of you can be part of it. You can go and test the game and so on. And the changes are absolutely humongous. And some of the changes I am 100% with, and some changes I am against, unfortunately. But we are going to speak about this very, very soon with some examples, and you will see what I'm talking about. Also, just to inform you, I knew about those changes like I would say 2 to 3 months ago, because we had a conversation with Wargaming, but unfortunately Wargaming did not change anything. So yeah, unfortunately they don't really care about the people opinion that much. I am speaking about community contributors, because there were like 20 community contributors, which, and majority of them was roasting idea, and that's what we have there. Anyways, without further ado, kids movie time, and let's enjoy ourselves.
Every tanker has their favorite vehicle, or even several vehicles. Their first tier 10, a legendary tank from museums and historical movies. A vehicle they won an incredible battle with. You've fought hundreds or even thousands of battles. Your vehicle is fully decorated with progressive decals, but you still enjoy playing it like it was the first time. And here's the thing, even your favorite tank sometimes lets you down. Maybe its speed is too low, its aiming time too long, or reload too slow. Of course, you can mount equipment and select directives, but you want to fine-tune your favorite vehicle to make it truly yours. Not like others. Like a real car. Steering wheel cover, window curtains, you can go even farther. Chip-tune the engine and enhance the gearbox. Then the car will meet all your expectations. It's a pity you can't do the same in the game. Or can you?
You can say whatever you want. First of all, you can say whatever you want. Presentation from the world of tanks side is pretty damn sexy, okay? Obviously, they are trying to be more close to each of us, right? We can give our car personality, maybe put the sticker on the car or something, and they are saying about the same thing, which will... hopefully, or maybe won't come into the game. We'll see what is going to be community feedback, but pretty much this is pretty damn nice introduction into the video, don't you think so?
Field modification testing will soon start on the sandbox server. This completely new mechanic will allow you to fine-tune the characteristics of your favorite vehicles. You can adjust their combat capabilities to fit the battle conditions and your personal preferences. In a nutshell, you can inject new life into them. This is not changing the vehicle role on the battlefield. This is a tuning of specific characteristics that are personally important to you. The Sandbox Test Server is an excellent way to check how an idea performs in combat conditions, to identify ambiguous aspects of the idea, and to adjust it to meet the player's needs.
Oh yes, it is changing the game. Believe me, when you will see the changes, what is happening, it is the game changer. Believe me, fellas, and I'm speaking from my own experience and what I can see there.
Field Modification is available to all Tier 6 to Tier 10 vehicles, except for rental vehicles and vehicles for special game events. It unlocks right after the vehicle receives elite status.
That means whenever you are grinding through the tank, you won't have access to this. So for example, you are grinding your MX-65T. So while grinding through the tank and until researching the next vehicle, in this example, MX Tier 9 M451 or however it's called, you cannot select any of those things. So all your stock tanks and the tanks which you did not went through can go and eat kaku.
Field modification includes 3 types of modifications: standard, dual, and special. They form a modification tree that differs depending on the vehicle tier and battlefield role. The higher the tier, the more modifications available. Tier 10 vehicles have available the maximum number of modifications. You already know vehicle roles from ranked battles, although they will slightly differ in this case. The modification tree will take roles into consideration. For example, the modifications for the Mouse and T-57 Heavy provide different bonuses because their combat use is different.
That completely makes sense because Mouse is nothing like T-57 Heavy, right? That's completely clear and that's completely fine.
Standard modifications are unlocked when the field modification level is increased. They provide a small boost to one vehicle characteristic, depending on the role. For example, a heavy tank with such a modification has a few more hit points.
And now let's stop for a second. Have you seen how much experience do you need to put into this? If there is 8 levels in total and the tier 10 is requesting or requiring 28,000 experience for 1 level, that's quite a bit of playing of World of Tanks, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much it is grinding another tier 10 from the tier 10, if we can say so, and the boost which your vehicle is getting is pretty damn significant, which we are going to see very soon, so pretty much prepare for a grind.
After you receive standard modifications, you unlock dual modifications. They allow your vehicle's characteristics to be redistributed so that it becomes more effective in one aspect, although at the cost of another. Dual modifications do not stack and are always mirrored. For example, if one modification speeds up reload time but slows down aiming, the other has the opposite effect. It improves aiming but slows down reload time. You can choose only one of 2 dual modifications. Once one is selected, the other becomes unavailable. However, you can always change your mind and switch to the other modification. Or you can choose neither of the 2. If it is cancelled, the dual modification is not saved. It will need to be repurchased.
The whole idea of all this, whenever you are grinding through this new modification tree, or however you would call this, pretty much you are going to, what Wargaming is trying to do, they are trying to sink quite a bit of the credits, which is completely understandable, and this is definitely not the not unusual thinking in a way. So keep this in mind. Pretty much what you will decide to pick, you are going to pay 150,000 credits, right? And for me, it's not a huge amount of the credits, but for free-to-play players, you will need to grind quite a bit in order to get that. So keep this in mind. I'm not even speaking about experience, which you will need to grind meanwhile.
Special modifications comprise the final group. There are 3 of them, and each provides tools that will prove useful to many players. The first modification enables the Essentials Loadout, which is an additional set of consumables and ammo to take into battle. It doesn't replace your main set, but rather it unlocks new opportunities. When you join a battle and evaluate the balance of forces, you can select one of 2 vehicle loadouts before the battle starts. This will help you adjust to the conditions of the upcoming battle.
This is a huge thing in my opinion. So imagine that you are playing with a tier 9 E50. A lot of people love this vehicle and they are enjoying themselves. And some of the people do not want to spam the gold all the time, right? Which is completely understandable. You want to play or to use ammunition which will work in the battle. So if you are getting the tier 10 matchmaking, you can have a full gold setup, right? And you can beat everyone like there is no tomorrow. But if you are getting the tier 7 setup, you can, or matchmaking, I supposed to say, then you can take like 40 standard ammunition and only 20 APCRs whenever you are meeting equal opponents as you are. So this is going to be credit saving feature, and this is very nice thing. But the question is, the main and the most important thing is you will need to grind for it. So keep this in mind. I'm speaking about experience.
The second special modification expands these opportunities by enabling a set of equipment and directives called the Auxiliary Loadout. If you install an element that is also in your main loadout, it doesn't require additional expenses. You can mount one equipment item into both sets for one vehicle. It will enable the creation of different loadout options for one vehicle while allowing you to select the most suitable one in a matter of seconds. Also, the essentials and auxiliary loadouts can be selected independently from each other. The third special modification.
Let's talk about the second modification for a second. Can you imagine you are playing with whatever, Manticore, Ferrari, or anything else. You are getting Prokhorovka, Kempinovka, Murovanka, doesn't matter. The map which is fitting the most with you. You can select between two loadouts, or I suppose to say equipment setups. You can take yourself Camonet, you can take yourself Binos, and you can take yourself Optics whenever you are moving. Or alternatively, you can take yourself CVS, Commander Vision System, Binos and Camonet, or Ventilation. Many of the maps are going to be broken if this thing will come to the game. I can promise you that. Good luck digging out the Manticore of the Kempinovka field, which have the maximum camo values and everything. It is not going to be easy. Probably it's not even going to be possible apart blind shooting, which not many players can do, and you won't even realize how fast you will get outspotted and how fast you will get effed. Or alternative situation, you are getting Himmelsdorf with your Manticore, so you are using Ventilation, Rammer, and Stabilizer, so you can actually do some damage in this way. And nowadays, in the current world of tanks, we are not having this kind of situation. We are having the equipment which can be suitable for every map, right? So you are not taking only spotting equipment because then you can't do shit in the Himmelsdorf. So this can be very huge thing. I am not even speaking you need to have a separate equipment pieces. So if you currently have the 3 sets of equipment, well, 3 pieces of equipment, you might need to have 6 for one tank. So this is going to be another investigation, and it's not about the credits. It is the most important thing. The game is going to be completely broken, and especially imagine that if you are playing lower tiers, right? You know how tier 6 matchmaking is looking like. Hello 4 light tanks or 5 light tanks even. You can imagine yourself type 64, which is going to have this kind of opportunities, if obviously they can do this. So think about this. This is going to be completely game-breaking case scenario, and this is why I am covering this, and I truly discourage Wargaming to implement this, because it is going to be completely broken and it's going to be disgusting, honestly.
Allows you to assign a category to a second equipment slot. This is an additional option that helps you fine-tune your vehicle for yourself. You can choose one of 2 recommended options. The category differs from the first slot and matches the vehicle role in accordance with its battlefield objectives. For example, tanks with strong armor, in addition to better durability, can also increase their firepower or mobility. Medium tanks will enjoy not only a bonus to mobility, but also to durability or spotting. Equipment mounted in the second slot, if it matches the category, will provide an increased effect, just like equipment in the first slot. Later, at any time, you may change your mind and select a different category for the second slot. Research, purchases, and other operations involving modifications require experience and credits. During sandbox testing, the economy will be demonstrative. The values are not final and will be set once the idea is evaluated in collaboration with players and a decision about its future is made. It's also important to note that the dynamic characteristics panel has not yet been adjusted for field modifications.
The third option, when you can add additional slot, I don't really think it is so powerful, and I think this one is fine, because yes, you can make your tank a bit stronger just by tiny touch, but let's get real, a lot of people are having bounty equipments and they are rolling with the bounty equipments and their favorite tanks, so for them this is not going to be the game changer, and this is not going to make the tank super powerful, because with a bond equipment and with a bounty equipment it's not stacking up, so it doesn't really matter, and I am being very honest with you.
A field modification is an excellent way to make your favorite vehicle even more enjoyable for you, while sacrificing less important characteristics. Does your IS-4 traverse slowly? You can make it a little more maneuverable. Do you want your Object 268 to occupy advantageous positions faster? This is possible. Do you want to improve the Leopard 1's accuracy a bit to highlight its sniper potential? You can simply select a corresponding dual modification. Of course, you'll have to sacrifice something in each of these cases, but this is a fair price for fine-tuning the vehicle or for improving key vehicle characteristics and
Okay, let's stop here for a second and let's have some fun, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Let's think about this. For example, they are showing the object as a tank here. So you can move 5 kilometers faster and you are losing 3% of the reload time. 3%, which is 1/3 of the rammer. I mean, I don't know how about you, but I don't really care about those milliseconds that much. Man, your tank can go significantly faster, as an example. Or the same goes for Leopard. You are losing 1/3 of the rammer, even less than that one. You are losing 3.333 or 1/3. Yeah, absolutely. This is less than 1/3, right? And you are getting more accuracy. In my opinion, this is just simply very silly thing. Or for example, suspension durability, right? You can take, for example, in this kind of case, they took traverse speed, right? So you can turn a bit quicker. But now think about this. You are losing suspension durability, which is your track's health, which is absolutely, in my opinion, this is just a bad thing. So that means you will get easier tracked from Arta, Splash, or from the lower caliber guns, which is not very good. Soon we will dig into this deeper, and this is absolutely garbage situation, in my opinion. In other words, trades are not worth it. What I'm trying to say, imagine that I don't know who could choose the bonus 3% reload time and losing 5 kilometers per hour speed. I have no clue who can choose this. So in other words, what I'm trying to say, it is unbalanced. That's the main thing. Plus on top of that, you will need to grind for it a lot of time, and casual players can go and eat carrot, okay? And once again, I'm not hiding this, I'm saying that straight into the face, fellas.
Smoothing over flaws while considering your personal preferences and experience. Special modifications open a new dimension of tactical planning. It allows you to easily adapt to the fickleness of the matchmaker and prepare for any fight. You can prepare 2 sets of ammunition and consumables, then select the one you need depending on the map and position on the list. For example, you might not need a food consumable, large repair kit, and first aid kit every battle. You can save a little by selecting an automatic fire extinguisher and cheaper versions of the first aid kit and repair kit.
And this is very good thing. I agree, this should be in the game for a long time, and this first setup is good. This is very good thinking from our gaming side. I definitely approve this, and I believe majority of you watching this video will think, that's actually great.
Here's an even more specific example. Say you're in a light tank on Malinovka. You might have the standard equipment set with coated optics, improved ventilation, and gun rammer. But you
By the way, this setup which they are saying, it is not very good, just saying, so don't mimicate this one because it's not very good.
Might select an alternate configuration for pass.
And now pay attention at this, fellas. Imagine that if every single light tank will roll with this kind of setup. Binos, CVS, and Commonet. Good luck digging out the light tank from the bushes. It's pretty much, it is absolutely disgusting, and the maps like Kempenovka, Prokurovka, blah blah blah, the open maps are going to be very hard to dig the light tanks out. Honestly, if every single of you know how light is important in those maps. So if your team light tank won't have this feature and enemy tank will have this feature, your team will automatically lose pretty much.
Passive scouting, binocular telescope, commander's vision system, and camouflage net. With such equipment, you can spot even more while hiding in the bushes, instead of driving around and
This is the typical example. This guy knows what he is doing. He is in typical Kempenovka bush, and this guy is a new player. Going through the field, and yes, goodbye, buddy, goodbye.
Dodging enemy shells. Here's another example. You're in a Type 5 Heavy on Himmelsdorf. It has the typical equipment for countering high explosive artillery shells. gun rammer, improved hardening, and spall liner. But the latter is not as relevant since you don't need additional protection from artillery on this map. That's why you can safely choose a loadout where you have an enhanced gun laying drive instead of a spall liner. Proper shooting is more important than protection in this case. Things get even more interesting with versatile medium tanks. The Object 140 can play differently on different maps, but one set of equipment for all occasions restricts its potential. However, with 2 loadouts available, the Object 140 becomes more flexible. On small city maps, you can do without coated optics and mount something to improve your firepower. Or you can improve your view range at the cost of shooting comfort on open maps. And there are several.
So this is the main reason why it is not that good, fellas. Experienced players are going to get extreme benefits from all this, fellas. I truly mean it. The casual players won't be able to afford this. Casual players won't have enough maybe knowledge of the game, or maybe they don't know what to do, and experienced players will get maximum benefits from all this. I can tell you exactly, speaking from experience, I will benefit from this a lot. I can promise you that. But little Tim, which don't really have too much knowledge of the game and barely can even get the first set of equipment, he is going to suck a massive PP. And this is why this is why this should not come to the game. And plus on top of that, remember, this is locked by the grinding wall. So yeah, every single of us have some tanks which we like. Every single of us have them. But you won't be able to grind like all Tech 3 or all tanks to have those kind of advantages. And someone from the enemy team will have them while you are grinding through that. So pretty much if you don't have this, your tank is kind of stuck.
Such examples for each vehicle. Everything depends on your position on the player list, maps, enemy lineup, and even game mode. The option of selecting a loadout during the countdown to adjust to the situation will make your life in battle easier, and perhaps play a crucial role in the battle outcome. And having a choice is always better than not having it. A field modification is a fine-tuning of your favorite vehicles and an excellent tool to adjust to unpredictable matchmaking conditions. The new system won't turn your tank into a super vehicle, but it will make playing it even more enjoyable. You can test field modification.
Here you go. This is what kind of changes for gaming is proposing, and only one good thing from all this, in my humble opinion, is the equipment, not equipment, sorry, the shells loadout. This is very, very good idea, and I will give a big fat thumbs up from to Wargaming, but other than that, this is not very good, and I will show you why. So we are moving here to the second graph, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, and let's see what Wargaming is proposing for us. Imagine that you grinded everything, you spent 250,000 experience, or how much you need to spend. So let's see what kind of choices do you have. So first choice, suspension durability on the object and terrain crossing capacity. So pretty much terrain resistances is better and you are moving faster. You are losing whole traverse speed 5%, which is absolutely nothing. You won't even feel this 5%. But now medium tank won't be able to track you absolutely whatsoever. 140 will need approximately 3 shots into your tracks in order to track you. Plus on top of that, if you are mixing this together with improved hardening, or how it's called, the module which is giving you even more HP to your tracks, object will be close to untrackable. And that's not all. Let's move next. So what do we have? We can have aiming time or accuracy. This one is quite tricky. Let's go for accuracy. So instead of 0.4, this tank have 0.39 accuracy, but it's aiming a bit slower. It doesn't really matter because with a object you are going in front anyways, right? Moving on next. We have concealment after firing the shot. hello with the object majority of the time you are in front, right? So you can remove a bit of your camo after you are shooting, 7% camo from your whatever 10%. So what is that? Less than 1%, right? And you are getting extra 2% of the view range, which is the skill which is called not situational awareness but recon, right? You are getting extra recon for a bit of the camo loss. I don't see the point why someone would pick the camo values unless you are playing with some kind of a Starva or something, right? Moving on next. What this can offer for you, 2% of vehicle hit points and protection from the crew injuries. So your commander won't die that easier or your driver won't die that easier and you are losing 1/3 of their armor. I mean, what the flying if they are smoking there? I want some of this too, because this is completely unbalanced, fellas. There is no way people will say, oh, 3% reload time, I am definitely accepting that. That's very good trade. No, it's not good trade. 3% of the reload time, how much is that from 10 seconds? I mean, 0.3 seconds maximum, less than that. This is absolutely ridiculous, fellas. And this is not all. Let's move on. And what do we have here? Suspension repair speed. So remember your tracks, you are pretty much untrackable already. You can even repair faster and you are losing. And plus you can get engine power. And you are losing 2 kilometers per hour backward speed. I mean, what the flying F? And we had a conversation with Wargaming already about this, right? The certain community contributors, there was like 20 or 15 of them. And majority of them was roasting this thing and it was bad. And you know what? It is garbage, in my opinion. First of all, penalties are not that huge. Second of all, this is obviously hidden by the grinding wall, which is absolutely outrageous. And this is absolutely disgusting. So this is only one example with a object. So once again, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and remember, everything is locked between the grind wall and in the same time, remember, if you have a top tier tank now, tier 10, whatever your favorite vehicle or all tanks researched, you are dedicated player, you will need to go for another 200 or 300,000 experience while grinding them. And if you won't do this, you will have a humongous disadvantage in the battles. It's just how it goes, it's just how it works. So in my humble opinion, fellas, this is just this is not very good. For example, look into the games as whatever, Call of Duty, Shit Night, PUBG, whatever. What you can get there, you can get skin, hip hip hooray, nothing will change, everything is fine, everything have the same conditions to play the game, and actually skill matters there, right? In this kind of situation, the time which you are investing matters the most, and if the Kranwagen or whatever, or the Manticore is meeting the... If there is two Manticores, right? Imagine Manticore one side, Manticore other side. This Manticore is fresh Manticore. He doesn't have all those shenanigans unlocked, and the one Manticore have everything unlocked. Guess which side have a humongous advantage, and which side more likely is going to be in the positions where light tanks are important. And obviously the same thing goes for Artas and so on. I mean, I don't know, fellas. Leave your comment down below. What do you think about this? I think Wargaming is misplaying with this, and there is only one good feature, which is selecting the ammunition time before the battle. Everything else, unfortunately, it is broken in my humble opinion, and I think they put very, very little thinking into this, and majority of the things, whenever you are choosing something for one or another tank, it is just garbage. And obviously, remember yourself, you can find everything in World of Tanks page. You are going to the World of Tanks page, you are clicking into the Field Modifier, or however to spell this properly, and you can see everything yourself. You can see Wargaming video, and you can check everything pretty much yourself, and you can dig even deeper into this. I'm a bit disappointed and I'm a bit sad, fellas, so feel free to leave your comment down below. What do you think? Is it a good thinking from Wargaming side, or maybe I am just out of touch, maybe I'm just special, and maybe I am just just, you know, maybe I'm getting old, although I'm 13 years old, with all respect. So thank you very much for watching, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and see you very, very soon. Skill is out. Peace.